So here's my issue. I've got the sofa right up against the wall, and I have these Kef HTS3001SE speakers. It's at max rotation, and if I have it against the wall here, it's not going to have enough. It's not going to be a very good position with the sound playing out of that direction if you're sitting down there. So what I ideally need to do is try to get this to be able to rotate so they can be facing sideways. Let's see what we can do. I found a, so I remembered I had this wall bracket for a Sonos One speaker. It screws into the back of that normally, but I'm not using this on the bracket anymore, so I was seeing if I could figure out a way to get this to work with the HTS3001. If you look at the back, so normally you would have two screws in the wall. The head would go in there and it would slot in there to hold it in place. That's obviously not going to work. So I'm just thinking, I'm just looking at ways I could get this to work. What I did notice is this hole down here, which is actually for the cables to go through. But what I can do is if I just pop that out, so yeah, you would normally have cables going through there if you wanted to hide them away. I'm not really too bothered about that because I'm just going to have some, I need to run the cables to it anyway. I'm not going to have it in the wall, so it's going to be going through trunking anyway. But what I was thinking I could do is I could actually have this lined up with the hole, so it comes through that side. I can get a bolt, screw and bolt through to secure it. So let me give that a try and see what I have. The screw that came out the original bracket was this. I measured it, and it's for this particular one it was about 6mm. So I just need something around 6mm, or I guess slightly smaller, to go through if I'm going to put a bolt on the other side. Okay, here's what I came up with. So I've got an M6 bolt, 6mm in diameter there. I got this, I'm going to use a washer, but if you notice I bent it. I just used some pliers and bent it. The purpose being, when I put it in here, it stays in place, because if I don't, then what I was finding is I put it here and then I'd have it flat, and then it would, one side would go in and it wouldn't be straight, and then I'd try to adjust it and then the other side would go in and it just wouldn't stay straight. So I bent it, and that now goes in there and kind of, if I put it in right anyway, at least it will kind of stay in position. On the other side, I'll just put this on here, washer and matching nut. Essentially that will go on there. So this is actually upside down, so you'll need to rotate this. That's supposed to be facing the other way normally, but it'll work fine like this. So this will be bolted into the wall. I've got the tape on there just to hold the screw so I don't lose them. But that will go into the wall. I can adjust the angle, even the angle there, but it doesn't really matter too much as long as I've got sort of 45 degrees or so. Then I can use the last bit of fine tuning with the normal adjustment. A coincidentally, it's quite handy actually, because these two bolts that actually help you tension this. This bracket actually is just the perfect width for me to actually get to it, even when I have it in place, so I can actually get an Allen key on the back of that, loosen it a bit, adjust the angle, and then tighten them without actually having to take it off the wall. So that's a fortunate side effect. But yeah, I think that should be fine. Once it's actually tightened up, that should be fairly solid, and I'll get them mounted onto the wall. So here's the speaker again with this bolted on. So that's gonna get installed on the wall there, and then that gives me more of an angle. Still questionable whether this bracket's going to be strong enough to hold it securely. I'll install it and just see. I just need to see, really. Hopefully it will. But yeah, well, it's worth a try.